The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Good morning, about ready to go live here on Tony Kurre Radio at 8 o'clock this morning with my good friend Dr. Josh Klapow, the Kurre and Klapow Show. You can see it on our Facebook Live page and, of course, also on Tony Kurre Radio. Download that Tony Kurre Radio app and listen to us on Spotify. Today is Pink Flamingo Day today. We're talking swingers, dingers, and ringers. We also have a brand new trend called He's a 10 trend, but we'll get into that. Plus, what you should and should not post on social media when you're on vacation. We'll be on Fox 6 this morning at 9:35 talking about that. And talking about that on the Kurre and Klapow Show, 8 o'clock on the Tony Kurre Facebook page and on Tony Kurre Radio. We'll see you then. Hey, good morning. It's the Kurre and Klapow Show.
Here we
What's
are.
up there, radio partner?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Got a lot to get into today. Ton to get into.
I actually sent you something this morning that I would have expected you to send me.
About the mites?
Yes.
I saw that story yesterday.
Oh,
There's
damn.
evidently...
Did you already know that?
Yeah, that's a New York Post story. There's stories about mites that feed off your nipples while you're sleeping at night. They feed off,
Your face.
the face and your nipples.
I didn't see the nipple part.
Yeah, well...
When did you see?
The sites I go to had nipples.
Did you see? I thought it was... So as I was following, I thought, this is super interesting because they talked about there's two different kinds and one can produce like scaling and kind of dry skin. And I was like, oh, is this a secret to acne? You know, I thought maybe this is, but and then it wasn't. But then they talked about now they have sex on your face.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah.
At night, they hunt for the mate and they have sex on your face. But then the third part, which is, I love when they're becoming symbiotic with us.
Yes.
Symbiotic is such an interesting word, right? They're on us, they're in us, and now they're hopefully helping us. And they're going to be the next thing. Gwyneth Paltrow's going to have them.
Yeah. See, and that's one of those things where, and you've seen the videos for years about the things that live in our bed.
Yes.
And if I can't see it,
right.
then I'm like, I'm not going to worry about it, because if you pull up the things that live in your bed, you're going to see millions of these little things.
I'm okay with that.
And
as long as it doesn't hurt me.
People freak out. They get germaphobes. And next thing they're cleaning their sheets. It doesn't matter what you do. The stuff that's on your pillow is just disgusting.
Yeah, I don't want it. Yeah.
There's only so much you can keep clean in your life.
Yes, and as long as, I always think of it this way, as long as I can't see it, know that it is harming me, my family, or my immediate environment, then I am absolutely fine. And particularly with the mite thing, I think it's interesting to the extent that they're symbiotic with us.
Yes. Explain to what symbiotic means.
Like they live in harmony with us versus versus being parasitic, which they're living off of us. They're ruining our skin. Now, again, it may be like a whole new way. You know what this is? This is a natural chemical peel.
Yeah. It's like the fish eating the dead skin off your feet.
Yes.
And maybe one of those things where if we don't have these mites, maybe we're not as healthy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot to get into today here on this Thursday, June 23rd. We'll be on Fox 6 later on this morning. A lot of people on vacation. We're going to get into what vacation pics you should and should not post. And the first thing I think of is, and again, I've got a group of friends I go through, and I see the pictures of women that just come flying through, and everyone's out, and they're brown, and they're tan, and they're happy, and everyone's just posting pictures of them. And so that was kind of the original thought process of, what should not. And not to say that by you posting a picture of your 16, 17, 18, 25-year-old daughter or the daughter posting stuff on TikTok in a bikini is wrong by any stretch. It's just, we're going to talk about on Fox 6 what you need to do. Prepare yourself for how people will respond to those things, because if you read some of the captions, there's creeps everywhere. It's just nasty. Do you want to deal with it? Do you not care if it's fine? Just be careful what you post. And Jeremy, of course, said you shouldn't post videos because people know you're on vacation.
And that's a given. We don't do that.
That is a given. We're not going to go there because we don't have to, because we know that if you're posting a picture of Cabo Wabo, you're not home. I used to always say on when I was on Jocks, I'd say I'm going out of town next week, and then just make sure you watch out for my big dog, and I got neighbors staying at the house. Not to say that I've heard of it. Also, today is National Pink Flamingo Day. A story I got into yesterday.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead. I know somebody who I can't comment on social media because of some security clearances. He's in the military. He is badass.
Yeah.
And his favorite animal is a pink flamingo.
Does he have any pink flamingos in his front yard, like the plastic ones?
No, he does not. But he is, and he's very cautious about this. But that is his. I mean, not like a pet.
Yeah.
But like you like a panther or whatever. He likes pink flamingos, and I'm telling you, this guy. If you knew this guy, and if you knew what he did, and if you saw him, you would not think of all the first things. Pink flamingos.
There is a TikTok trend that is now up to about 158 million followers.
I missed it. What?
About what it means to have these three things in your life. Because if you have one of these three things, or all three, you're a swinger.
Pink flamingos?
Pink flamingos in the front yard. If you If you got a neighbor with pink flamingos and they're up year round, the other thing that's amazing.
Is that a sign of it, or is it associated with? Like, is it?
It's a strong association with.
But it's not a put it out in your front yard. I'm a swinger.
If you have a pink flamingo in your front yard, chances are someone's going to come knocking on your door, going, "Hey, I saw your pink flamingo."
That's what I mean.
That's how associated it is with it. The other thing is three other things. Pampas grass, which I have a huge pampas grass bush, right where you park the big string.
Oh yes.
It's pampas grass.
That's a thing,
and that makes sense because I'm pretty sure my next door neighbors, not the ones that live there now, but the ones before. Well, maybe the ones.
What?
The ones that lived there before, I could definitely see the possibility of them, and I never knew.
Yeah. But what's the pampas grass have to do with it?
It's just one of those, you know how they tie, when you drug dealers, tennis shoes. It's one of those things that just happen and like, hey, I got an idea. Put some pampas grass out front and we'll just create this pampas grass thing. The other thing is upside down pineapples. Now, the upside down pineapple thing is huge on cruise ships. I never knew. People will take a pineapple, not a real pineapple, but a picture of a pineapple, and they will turn it upside down and put it on their door in cruises. And if you do that, they are open for some adult fun.
Because the pineapple is this universal sign of friendliness and welcome, right? That's in South Carolina. It's Charleston is a big thing. But if you turn it upside down
pineapple. If you go to someone's house where they have, and there's a whole site. Just go to upside down pineapple. Just Google it, and there's people that have welcome mats. Yeah. There's welcome mats with upside down pineapples on them.
Upside down pineapple.
They have to be upside down pineapple.
Because otherwise it's just...
There are cruise lines where they serve drinks in upside down pineapples. They cut the bottom out and they put it on the top.
I feel like I've lived such a sheltered life.
I did too. I mean, I'm pretty out there, man.
Well, yes, but me.
The other thing is about guys that wear black rings on their right hand.
Right hand? Mm-hmm. Well, that could be also you're gay and married.
It could be.
Or you're a swinger?
Yeah. We'll talk about that coming up. I got into it yesterday. I loved it. It was just a lot of fun.
Hell, man.
There's also a new trend called He's a 10 But. This is a brand new trend. It's going on all these dating sites where women are chiming in about looking at just the guy's face, nothing else in the picture. He's a 10. That's a rocker. But, and because of this little thing, he's a 2.
Because of this.
For example, he's a 10, but I found out he doesn't floss, he's a 2.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Oh, that's
so think about that because I want you to get, because it's going towards the women too.
Yes.
For example, she's a 10, but she drives a Lexus. She's a 2.
Well, that's not true. Well, you have a whole
It's my thing.
That's your thing.
It's my thing.
Like,
someone would say he's a 10, but he wears boat shoes. He's a 2.
Yeah. It's
not to say you wouldn't date the guy, but it's supposed to be funny. So think about things that bother you. Like, she's a 10, but she doesn't use her turn signal. She's a 2. Or she's a 10, but she's a Democrat. She's a 2. Whatever. So think about some things. Because they just started pouring out of me last night. She's a gum chewer. She's a 2. It's not to say you wouldn't go out with the person, but it's the whole forget them because, he posted a picture of his cat. He's a 2.
We got too much time on our hands.
No, we don't. We don't have plenty of time. Also, the Conservancy of Southwest Florida, I don't know if you saw this, announced they caught the largest python ever in Florida a couple days ago. It was 18 feet and 215 pounds. It had 122 eggs in her abdomen, which is also a record. So far, the organization has basically recovered over 1,000 pythons at 315,000 pounds of snake over the last year. It's a major issue down in Florida where obviously all the pet owners just let their snakes go, and snakes mate like rabbits. They're killing everything.
Pythons are not at all indigenous to Florida.
They're not.
Is it all pet driven?
Yes. And of course, they're mating like big time, and they're killing everything that
Well,
they need for the ecosystem down in the
You know
swamp.
that this falls into your whole theory.
Yeah.
My raccoon was out again today. Give me a badass look. I looked at it. I'm like, and then just nothing. He's just looking at me like F you. Like on the roof.
In the roof?
He's on the roof, but like it was almost as if he was staring me down.
Yeah. It may be time to take
Well, that and the
it,
deer, my deer thing, and the deer are like, they're what's it called, rutting?
Yeah.
And there's no fear.
I know.
I'm like,
They don't care anymore.
No, they don't care.
I'm telling you. I got squirrels that do the same thing. They
Yes.
don't run away anymore. And I got dogs. They don't even run from the dogs anymore.
The birds, my little cardinals, right? You're supposed
Your
to come
little
up
cardinal.
on the plant feeder, right? You should be able to come up, and at some point,
They should
for their
fly.
own survival, you know what they do?
What?
They're literally eating out of the bird feeder, and I come up, and they're eating, they're chewing, and they're just looking at me. They're looking at me like I'm like this, and they're not going anywhere.
They're figuring out that what would we do? It's like, you ever try to catch a squirrel?
Right.
Like one's on the other side of the tree. I've actually grabbed a tail. What the hell are you going to do with it once you catch it? So you just
They got us.
Yeah. They're
We're
figuring out that
We're screwed.
strength in numbers works. There's also two other stories that we may or may not have time for. One was kind of a throwaway story. These two women, very attractive, lesbians. They've been dating each other for 2 years. They're finding out that their mother, both of their mothers, two different mothers, slept with the same man. And so they're thinking that there's a possibility that they're actually related. They have some blood related to them, and now they don't know what to do.
They don't know for sure.
They don't know for sure, but if they are,
right.
They look like sisters.
If they are, then they're half sisters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do after you've been in love with someone for 2 years?
We talked about with like cousins and long lost siblings.
Had a great conversation back then.
That's such maybe
what do you do? Like if you're first starting a date,
yeah.
You're like, okay, we're not too deep into this. This is wrong.
Yeah.
But if you've been together for a while,
I mean,
there could be a genetic overture to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think other than the genetics, I think I got to tell you. Well, I don't know. I would say you keep going. You're half. Half
sister, yeah. Well, okay. So what is it that you shouldn't keep going? Obviously, brother and sister you could, but if you're adopted and you find out your brother and sister and you're together, what do you do there?
I don't know, man. Because the psychological damage, if you're not, I mean, if you break up and you're really in love, I mean, I think what you.
Is there? Let me ask you this: Is there a psychological? Obviously, there's a connection. If you have blood, I've obviously have a very special relationship with my sister. We're blood.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't find her attractive. I'd never date her. But if I didn't know her until 25 years after she was born, because we were adopted and brought into the same thing, is there
an affinity because of blood?
Because blood? Is there an attraction there just because? We see that a lot where we got along so great, we were completing each other's sentences, and then we found out we were brother and sister. Well, no shit. So is there a genetic predisposition to an attraction to another individual just purely through the pheromonal blood flow of a person?
I mean, that's where it's so complicated because there is a chance for that, but it's not automatic. I mean, just think about siblings who don't get along at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So is the propensity there? Yes. Is it a given? No. Because again, you think about how many siblings just literally can't stand each other. Yeah. A lot of times it's because you got mom, you got dad, and you got their genetics, their genes that they're passing down, and they're passing them down to both siblings. But genes are propensity. It's the potential for. So depending on what's turned on and what's turned off, you either can connect to one another or you can hate each other's guts. And it may in fact be, why do I hate this person so much? You hear this all the time. Why? God, why not hate? Why does this person just kind of repulse me or whatever? Not from physical, because a lot of times they remind you of someone in your family. So genetically, you're in the same position. God, well, it's because you got mom's genes, and I didn't get that part of mom's genes, and it's a clash.
There you go. All right, we'll get into that. And finally, I say it a love story. I go through a lot of stories. I go through 4 or 5 different sites every morning. I get up early, and I enjoy it. It's part of my routine. And then I'll get to the end and I won't have anything written down. And I'll go, okay, well, I have to have something to talk about here. And then I start thinking about the things that interested me. And this story really interested me. And before you go, just chill out. It's a love story. 83-year-old man, married to a 35-year-old woman. He's in great shape. He's written over 50 books. He's in Argentina. He is well-renowned and well-respected. He's super healthy. He's written over 50 books on healthcare. I'm sitting there propping this guy up for sake of the story. And she's 35. They met a couple of years ago. He was widowed in 2017. His wife died, and he met her a year later. She's really attractive. I don't know what their attraction is, but 35, you kind of like, you should figure out what's best for you at that point. If it's 25, I go, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. But at 35, I'm kind of like, maybe she sees something. I don't know. So anyway, she gets pregnant.
Oh,
and he just had a baby boy.
Will he be the oldest? Is he the oldest dad?
No, he's not the oldest dad, but the story is heart-wrenching because he had to decide when they conceived this child that he won't be there for that child's life.
So we can talk about it. That is something.
And it's hard. And he shows all these pictures. They're in bed together, and the guy's in great shape. He don't look like he's 83. Looks like he's probably 73. And there's this little boy, and he's on the teeter-totter with him sitting there going, and he's like, at best, he may be 15 or 16 before I go.
So listen, we can get them. That's real extreme. We've got lots of examples. Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
And then you can,
a 4-year-old. Yeah.
Right. Then you can start. Larry King you can start bringing it closer and closer and going. Instead of 80 and 30, 70 and 30, or even 60 and 30. Right, or bring it up on the other side.
I had my daughter when I was 46.
Oh, that's exactly where I was.
So I'm like 46 years old. Most people, their kids are out of the house. They're in college at 46. I have a baby at 46, and now at the age of 56, she's 10.
Right. So now you start playing.
Doing the math.
That's why you were connected to that story.
Yeah.
Because you start thinking about what will I be like when they are this age? What will I be like when they are this age? And if you have your kids somewhere between 20 and 40, you think about it, I'll be this, but as it starts stretching out at 50, you start thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to go to this kid's soccer games because I'm going to be, with a walker.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever wish to have another child? How old are you, 52?
54.
54.
How old are you?
56.
Yes.
Have you ever?
Never. Nope. Never.
I'm not, this is not a maternal instinct of mine. There's a little like crap. No, but I look at other people's babies, and I want to hold that baby.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, I know.
That's different. I do too. I look at a little toddler. You want to be a grandpa is what you want to be.
I do want to be a grandpa.
That's exactly.
And I know that's probably not going to happen for a while, too. Probably if it happens at all.
Depending on which of your children, it better damn not happen.
Well, I have 2 shots. Well, I have 3 shots.
You have 3 shots. Yeah.
My 17-year-old, I don't think is even remotely close
to
settling down to anything. My 10-year-old's probably closer to settling down to
that's
a 17-year-old.
Yes.
But I'm hoping she goes another 20 years. But it was a beautiful story, and there was no creep factor there. The fact that he's 83. Listen, if he's 83 and he can get 30, and she's the pictures, obviously.
But you see, that's where I think. I guess you can't help fall in love. I know that, but I do think, much like the brother and sister thing, particularly with kids, I guess maybe what he was doing is she wanted a child, he's conceiving, he is helping her have a child, knowing there was a movie that was just done about this, not with age, it was Michael B. Jordan, somebody about he has a terminal illness, but he wants his wife to have a child, and his wife wants to have a child.
I believe the wife in this particular case did in vitro or did some type of fertilization. She wanted to have a child with him, and he was like,
That's
"Okay, but you have to understand." And they look like they're pretty financially well off. But he's like, "You understand? I'm not going to be here."
But can you imagine telling that to your kid once as they start understanding? Think about it. When that child is old enough to even understand what a dad is in a broader way. So let's say there's 7.
Yeah.
Because we have 3, 4, 5, you're not doing social comparison.
Yeah.
But when that kid's about 7, he's
Could be 90.
Oh, he could be dead. Now that's another interesting thing. Is he better off psychologically? This is what I'm asking myself a question here. Is he better off? Is that child better off? He or she? Is that child better off psychologically if dad dies within their first 2 years of life?
Ooh.
I'm going to answer it.
Oh.
Yes, my answer is absolutely.
So he doesn't have any recollection of.
Yeah.
And the father's doing
Because he's not going to have, at best, 10.
Yeah, but don't you want as much time as you can? with
Not
your
if
father?
you're not.
Why?
Because we know that dad's not going to be around. I mean, you're hedging a
But
lot
you
of
don't
bets.
know that even at
Well, you're
the age of
hedging like he's
56.
83, so he's got 17 years.
Yeah, that put him at 100 on the outside.
Okay, so if he's got 17 years, yeah, but we got to prop his ass up when he hits 90.
Well, and the father's doing something really interesting in that he is not. He said, "I'm not over dramatizing this. I'm only going to be here for a little while, so I have to do
Right.
all these things." He's just being a dad. He said, "I am leaving recordings
He should.
of some things that, and I think a lot of dads do that, that his child perhaps can listen to after he goes."
Oh my God. There's
Again,
a-
if he's 73, we're probably not talking about it. 83.
Well, and then there's a lot of potential for resentment. There's a whole lot of potential here for child resentment. Think about it. Yes, you may feel blessed, that your dad helped bring you into the world. But I could also imagine going, what, as a kid, as you start hitting 12, 13, 14, and let's say he is on his either deathbed or he has passed, and then you see the recordings and your understanding is, I could see you saying, why did you do this to me?
Yeah.
Why did you do this to me?
Well, the mother obviously had a big part of it because she wanted to have a child.
Well, I could see
too.
you saying to mom too, what are you doing?
Well, and I guess it depends. At the age of 35, you would assume that she would remarry, and then maybe she would have this beautiful story. Your dad was older, but he was a beautiful man.
Not
He
older,
brought you-
old, like
brought
flipping
you into
old.
this world, and we turned out to be. I just think it's really interesting because as an 83-year-old, I don't know if I knew that I could inseminate a woman and make her pregnant at the age of 70. First of all, would I want to deal with a newborn at that age of my life,
Mick did.
depending on my health? But if I was healthy, and this guy seems like he's
Yeah.
in great shape, and you're up for it, then that is something you have to think about. Okay, I'm not going to be here for his graduation, for his
Yes.
first date, for his college career, for
Well, and then let's also play a slightly different scenario. I am going to be here, or there's a good shot I'm going to be here, but I'm not going to be like the other dads.
yeah.
I mean, stop and think about it for a minute. At a high school graduation, let's just do 70 because 80 is ridiculous.
Well, and this is just a little bit like grandpa's taking on grandkids. I mean, we see
Yeah.
it all the time where the parents just
Yeah.
go out and do their thing.
It
and
is, but
grandpa
that's
watches the
grandpa.
kids, yeah, I know.
So you're 70, you have your child, and they graduate at 17, so you're 87.
Mm-hmm.
When my child, I'm not going to do the math, when my child graduated high school, I was about 46. So 46 versus 87.
Yeah.
I mean, you as a kid, as a teenager, are explaining to that's my dad. That's your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean that's your grandfather? No, that's my dad. I mean, the amount of, no matter how much you love your parent, that's a really rough situation psychologically to put a child in, because unlike maybe a dad who is in a wheelchair, or a dad early onset of Alzheimer's, I had that, but I was already an adult.
Yeah.
That's a different story, because the first question that comes out of every kid's, why is your dad so old? Not what's wrong, not what kind of condition.
Yeah.
Well, he and my mom got married when he was 72.
Yeah.
No, not right.
No, it's not, but it is.
No,
But it
no,
is
it's
what it
not
is.
right. No,
And
no. Have a vasectomy.
Yeah.
Have a,
Well, and again, I mean, maybe, I don't know, I don't know this couple, but
No.
maybe at the age of 30, she was 33, 34,
it's just-
she wants to have a child with him.
no.
Maybe she's
no.
never had a baby before.
No, I should have done a
She was
psychological
wondering how that-
evaluation on her.
All right, we're going to get into this. He's a 10 butt trend coming up in just a few minutes right here today.
See, I thought you said it was a butt trend.
No, it's not a butt trend. Well, it could be a butt trend. Today is a National Hydration Day. No kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Today is Detroit Pizza Day. Do you never had Detroit style pizza? I never knew.
What
Chicago-style pizza. Detroit-style pizza is the same as Chicago-style, but they use a different dough, so it's more chewy and fluffy than the traditional Chicago. Chicago-style pizza kind of uses the same dough that normal pizzas do. They say it's pretty. It looks fantastic.
New York and Chicago, and that's it.
Yeah. Today is also Public Service Day.
Good.
Today is International Widows Day. See,
really?
That 83-year-old dude. Yeah.
I'm gonna call my mom.
You know what? That'd be a good idea. So we'll get into these stories. So I want to get back into this story about the flamingo thing. There's two different things I want to get into.
Why is that, Tony? Why are you so interested in that?
I want you to stand up right here on our wires here.
Okay.
Stand up right there.
Yep.
I want to give you the flamingo test.
Okay.
Since today is Flamingo Day. And what I want you to do is I want you to just raise one leg, your right or your left, like a flamingo would. You should be good at this because it's a yoga thing.
Okay.
And hold it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is some good live TV here.
All right, so you're good. All right, sit down.
So am I a swinger?
So,
Does that make... What if I can do it?
well, you can swing on one leg.
Okay.
Now, this is a totally unrelated thing, but there's a flamingo thing on National Pink Flamingo Day.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I was getting all the stories confused.
I know, you're excited about the swinger. We'll get back to the swinger thing. Researchers asked 1,702 Brazilians between the ages of 51 and 75 to undergo the brief physical test known as the flamingo test. The British Journal of Sports Medicine on Wednesday asserts the simple test should be included in during a person's annual physical, as it provides useful information regarding mortality risk in middle-aged and older men and women. And come to find out that if you cannot hold your leg up like a flamingo for 10 seconds with your hands down by your side and your face straight, you have a much better shot at dying within the next 7 years.
Totally makes sense.
Each participant was asked to stand barefoot on one leg while keeping another leg raised, as though it's mimicking the hot pink birds.
Yep.
It goes on to say that of the 1,702 participants, 20% were unable to complete the test. Majority of those were between 71 and 75.
Okay, so the older people.
Exactly.
Yep.
Surprisingly or unsurprisingly, the test became harder with age. Just 5% of participants between the ages of 51 and 55 failed the flamingo test, with the number rising to 54% of people between 71 and 75. That makes sense because as you're older, you do have a better shot at dying within 7 years.
Yeah, so
which is amazing thing about it is on average follow-up time of 7 years, 7% of participants had passed away. They went with these people 7 years after they did the test. Tellingly, 27% of people failed the test were among those who had died, compared to just 5% who managed to pass the test.
Makes sense.
They concluded there was an 84% higher risk of all-cause mortality for people unable to complete the flamingo test. It also found that people that obviously had diabetes and overweight issues obviously were. So if you can do the test.
It's an interesting and weird sort of statistical, I won't geek out on you, but like, right, it's a proxy for all kinds of other problems.
Yeah,
but they're probably known problems. You know, not like, it'd be really interesting if not being able to stand on one leg predicted the onset of heart disease, diabetes, that kind of stuff. But my guess, just in reading that, is if you can't do that and then they look at your medical history, you probably have diabetes, obesity. There's a good chance that you've already got that.
Which means you need to clean up. You should be able to do the flamingo test, which is a direct correlation of if you can't do the flamingo test, you need to get healthy.
Well, have you ever...
I mean, if you're 75, you can't do it. But I mean, it plays into not only diabetes, but it plays into falls. The big thing killer of people. Oh, she broke her hip. Oh, she's dead. I mean, if you break your hip, you're dead meat. If you're 85 and you break your hip, you're dead.
Listen. Right? So we're at this age. I don't know the last time you went had a physical. Yeah. But we're at this age, and I just so distinctly remember this when I turned 50. When I went for a physical or I went to the doctor for something, they they do the intake. And they or do you have any pain today? Yep. It's always, do you have any pain? Because pain's a fifth vital sign. And a lot of times I always think that's funny because I might be in because of a sinus infection, but my knee hurts because my knee always hurts. And so I always wonder should I say yes? And so sometimes I go, yes, I have pain in my knee, in my knee. Well, is that something we want to discuss? No, I'm here for a sinus infection. That's the first thing. Second thing is then they ask me, then they do the depression screening, which is very important. I'm a mental health professional. Yeah. But it's not funny, but I giggle a little bit. I know what you're asking. Have you felt sad or blue for the last, no, but I know, I'm not depressed. It's okay. Then the other two, which I think are hysterical. It's not fun. Have you fallen recently?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about you, but like we do a lot of stuff outside. And I'm like, well, yesterday or the 2 days ago I tripped and you have. I'm like, but it wasn't because of that. I just tripped.
Yeah.
And then the last one is, which again, I'm making light of this, but it is so funny. Do you feel safe?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always like, no, I'm Jewish. I never feel safe. There's always something going on. But yes, the fall, when you're over about 70, it's immediate sign of something's potential.
No doubt. All right, so there's your flamingo test here on this National Flamingo Day.
I love flamingos.
I do too.
Do you go to the zoo? Is that your first
they'll
thing?
let you walk around. I got some great pictures. I need to post. I got a great picture of me and some flamingos.
You can touch the flamingos?
Oh yeah, I got one where we're
Really?
nose to nose, yeah. I'll post us some pictures on social media, Tony Curry Radio. We're going to be on Fox 6 in about an hour talking about what we should and should not post on our vacation photos. We'll talk about that in our second segment this morning here on the Curry and Klapow Show. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and do another segment. Plus, I want to get back into this swinger thing here. I'm trying to find the pomegranate and trying to find out where that came from. I don't have it. It just started somewhere. It's probably like putting a tie on the doorknob, when you have a girl in the room.
Where does that stuff grow naturally? Florida, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Or-
But I mean, we got that big bush right out front.
Yeah.
And if you have pomegranate, and my neighbors across the street have pomegranate. Pomegranate's that long feather looking thing.
And it creates...
And it lives year round. It's pretty. It's really cool. It gets super big. And then, of course, but the upside down pineapple thing.
I didn't even realize, you could go wrong.
You ever notice that a lot of people that have alternative sexual lifestyles, whether they're homosexual, they're polyamorous, they're bi, it always has something to do with fruit or colors. Why is that?
What do you mean? You mean like the rainbow for pride?
Yeah.
Well, because rainbow pride, everybody. It's everyone in
Okay,
the rainbow.
well, who took over the rainbow? Why is it rainbow dictated?
Because rainbow is
LGBT?
everybody. We're all.
No, it's not.
Yes, and rainbow's
I
about
mean, it's
love.
more of from an ethnicity
No, it's a
standpoint.
love thing.
It's seven because it's 7 different colors. I
Right.
get that. I'm a magenta. I get that.
Yes.
I understand the ethnicity part of it, but where does that have to do to play?
Well, what else about alternatives? What kind of fruit besides the?
I mean, I get like autism. They use puzzle pieces.
Okay.
Puzzle pieces because we're putting it together. We're trying to find, and that for me is a genetic DNA missing. You're missing a DNA thing, and so I get that.
Yes.
But just a rainbow for gay people, I don't get it.
Pride, they took
so,
it.
But who the hell decided that because they're a swinger?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What can we get that's fruity and fun? Oh, I know. We're on cruise ships and we love pineapple.
Well, but that's exactly. It could have been
because
a coconut.
people in Hawaii
It could have been
aren't gay and swingers.
Well, it could have been a
But it's all
coconut.
pineapple.
That's what I mean. It's social norms.
It could have been a coconut. It could have been
It's
a coconut.
social norms. That's what it is.
So, but why are all these things always
don't know.
fruity and colorful?
Because it's fun. Swinging
Well,
is
it's fun, and
fun.
I'm fruity and colorful,
Well,
but I'm
maybe
not
you're a
gay. I'm part of the
swinger.
LGBTQ community, and I'm not a swinger yet.
But it's not exclusive to that.
I would love to try to do a little research on this. Put up some pink flamingos. I already got the pomegranates.
I don't think
And just
in
do
this
it,
neighborhood.
and just see if I get some phone calls.
Well, 'cause
I was talking about the car key party.
That's what I was saying.
That I was invited
in
to
this
on the show
neighborhood,
yesterday.
man.
I know, right? It would be nice.
I
to
wouldn't
know.
do it right now because it's going to affect your market value of your house.
It may help it. I used to live over South Hall Road.
4-3. It's a 4-3, large, flat backyard, master on the main, swinger friendly.
Swinger friendly. I used to live off of South Hall Road over there in Crestwood, and it was known as Gay Hill. And I was like, Gay Hill. And I was like, I'm not gay. But I had a football player that lived to my left. I had a movie star that lived to my right. But everyone else in the neighborhood was gay. And I was like,
well, how do you know the football player wasn't gay?
Because he was married, Bob to Tarek. I don't.
Married means nothing.
I know. He would.
Married means nothing.
If he was gay, he would put a hurt on you. And then the guy to the right of me was in To Kill a Mockingbird with Gregory Peck. So he was. So he's an actor. So he could have been.
Anybody could be. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That you can't. I bet you they both were gay. Why were they there? Why were you there?
Yeah.
You have tendencies.
That's pretty out there. A lot of people in this, and because of what we went through with COVID and stuff, it's interesting to see what you read and who you listen to, but evidently we're all oversexed. We're all just want to get out and just start knocking boots all over the place. The dating sites are going through the roof.
Yeah.
Everyone's hooking up with everybody.
Because
I don't know if that's right or wrong. That's up to you. But I'm like, and so people are being very, hey, we're going on a cruise for 7 days. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Put the mat out.
You only live once. You only live once.
We can always say no. We're not interested in you. But let's get after it. And you're in international waters. No one knows you're there. But yeah.
You know what happened? You would put the mat out. If it was me, I'd forget to turn it upside down. So my pineapple would be right side.
Well, it'd be right side up to you when you're coming out of the door, but it'd be upside down.
So that was the other thing. That gets really confusing.
No.
Which side?
No, because the mat goes one way. It says welcome. You don't do welcome upside down.
Oh, okay.
As you're looking.
So they have swinger mats.
Yeah.
Can you get them on Amazon?
You can.
You want me to get you one? I can have them delivered
just
tomorrow.
pull up upside down pineapple, and you'll probably be getting some messages.
That's really disturbing, because one of the things I absolutely love about pineapples, the symbol of a pineapple, is the welcomeness, the inviting. Again, you know how I love Charleston and South Carolina. It's so.
And pineapple,
the pineapple fountain they have.
Isn't that the official fruit?
Yes.
It's South Carolina swinger state then.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're ruining it.
Yeah.
It's not an upside down. Do you like upside down?
Now, why are you saying you're ruining
Do you like
it?
upside down?
Are you saying that swingers are ruining people? Or are you saying you're just tolerating swingers? Why would you say that swingers would ruin the state of South Carolina? That's a.
If South Carolina, can you imagine if South Carolina found out that they were?
So if you had swingers in your neighborhood, it would ruin your neighborhood?
No. Depends what time and like who's showing up.
The chances you have, what do you got, about 35 people living down your street?
No, dude, I know.
There's a great chance
there's somebody,
there's gay people and there's swingers there.
That's fine, but the age demographic in my neighborhood
doesn't matter.
It's 70.
The average
80.
age of people that go on cruises is 52.
That's true.
Cruise people are all old.
And
they're swingers.
Okay, you want to this is just
Pomegranate or the black ring on the right hand, which I've never
That's so stupid.
Well, there's a lot of guys.
I know the whole carbon. It's
the black onyx. We used to do black onyx. It was really cool.
Did you do that?
No, I almost
black
did.
onyx. But now it's like a carbon, so you can work out. It's all bullshit. Like God, the thing and taking. We've done a whole thing about taking the rings off. No, come on.
Chances are they're swinging while they're at the gym. Mm-hmm. So they have it. All right, we're going to take a short break. Talk about John Gray. You have been an absolute angel and a sweetheart to me, not only doing the show with me for years and being my best friend, but I know that you had to reach out to John Gray yesterday for some business things. But talk about him real quick. And then don't forget to download the Tony Curry Radio app. You can hear all of our shows throughout the day. We have 10 shows. We added 2 more shows yesterday. We have a Wanna Bet show for you college football fans out there. It's going to start in August. We're going to be giving you tips. We're going to be giving you picks. And we're going to be doing that from Las Vegas, which is good. Yeah. Kip Kiefer is actually going to be going to Las Vegas to record the shows. We're going to bring him back here. You can only hear him here on Tony Curry Radio and then on the CW later on. And he's also got a show called Need to Know. He's like, I want to do a show and just talk 30 minutes about any shit I want. I said, dude, go for it. So he's going to start that show, and that show will start in a couple weeks. So we have 12 shows now. You can hear all the shows on the Tony Curry Radio app. They run first there. And then, of course, go to Spotify, search Tony Curry Radio, Curry with a K, K-U-R-R-E, and you can hear hundreds of podcasts, everything from Adapter Parish, Dark Side of the Pooch, Mission Minded, Livewire. Wednesday last night was fantastic, brought to you by Southern Precision Staffing, 205-682-2828. It was a home run. We tracked the entire AC/DC Back in Black album in celebration of the 42nd anniversary of its release in July. We have When in Rome with Stuart Rome. I'm doing a couple of shows with him today to show make you look good, feel good, and sound good. And then, of course, the Damon Johnson Show and Blues Almighty. The 23rd episode, fresh new episode, goes tonight, and it all has to do with New Orleans tonight on Blues Almighty. So we'll have that going on. But all of our great sponsors talk about John Gray and this guy.
John Gray's the best. John Gray is a financial advisor. You can get a hold of him at driscollgray.com. And John works with people all kinds of income levels across the United States. And what he does so well, better than any financial advisor I've ever worked with, is he immediately asks you questions about not just your life and like how you're living your life. He's asking you questions about what you plan to do, not just financially. You know, where do you think you'll be in 20 years? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? And what he helps you do from that point on is manage your money to your goals. It's not just investment, it's savings, it's making decisions about, we've had this right now with the interest rates going up, going up. Should we pay something off or should we let it float? Those are the kinds of things that John Gray does in addition to investing your money so you can make the most. You need to have a wealth manager that manages all of your wealth, and wealth does not mean wealthy. Wealth is the money and the assets you have. John Gray is the best. Go to him at driscollgray.com. He's very easy to get a hold of. By the way, I was going to tell you, you will love this because he and I traded hummus recipes yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
I made homemade hummus.
I bet you swingers love hummus.
Was that one of the songs?
John would be a fun swinger.
He would. John's.
God.
Okay, stop. We just lost John.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes with the segment 2. You're going to love segment 2. We're going to get into the pics that you should and should not post from your vacations. And we're talking to you ladies and the parents of these ladies. And also...
ladies.
Because that's where we're going.
Okay.
And also, we're going to get into he's a 10 butt trend, which is a huge trend on TikTok right now. This is where you look at a guy and go, he's a 10, and then you find out he does this, he's like he's out.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be kind of funny. But I've got a list of things that I'm a little cynical on women right now for some reason. I don't know why. But I have these little things.
I know your Lexus thing.
It seems like I'm seeing more Lexuses than I've ever seen.
That's just because you're full of resentment.
So we'll do it here next. Real quick before we go, though, don't forget to go to workplay.com. They have Sweet Tea Trio playing on the 25th. Couple of nights down there at Workplay. Workplay is open. They're doing shows again. You can rent the place out. The bar is open on show nights, so check out Workplay and workplay.com. They do a fantastic job. We love them. We've had a lot of different things down there right here with the Tony Curre Radio Network. Back in about 6 or 7 minutes. All right, back for part 2 real quick. We have to take a short break.
You have to go to the bathroom?
No, I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Here. Let me plug this in so you can hear us better. I just thought we'd do a little something different so people can listen to 2 different shows instead of one.
No, that's good.
And I had a lot to get into.
You did
this
have to go to
morning.
the bathroom. You had to make coffee.
I did.
That takes a long
We're going to get into what to post and what not to post on your social media while you're on vacation. The first thing I thought of was, and again, I don't go looking for this stuff, but if you get on Facebook, the pictures, all the women are posting these pictures inside the car and it's going down their tops, down their boobs, and like, oh, I didn't realize I was showing so much cleavage. And I'm like, stop.
Yeah, right.
You're wearing the big glasses and, happy Monday. And it's like,
that's okay. That's okay.
But they're wearing very revealing clothes.
Don't say I didn't realize.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
And they're getting a ton of followers. Wow, I posted a picture of me in a bikini by the pool and I couldn't believe I got 1,000 views on it. Well, what do you
don't say
think's
I
gonna
can't
happen?
believe. Just don't say I can't believe.
Yeah,
you know what you're
shut up.
doing.
You know what you're doing.
The thing
skin
is,
sells, sex sells.
We've talked about this. This is this whole men versus women thing. There are men our age that would look at women our age who take shots like that. But flip it. You take a shot of yourself, sweaty.
Yeah, there's nothing that...
Right.
Guys can't do that. And if we have dad bods or, I try to stay in shape. I'm not going to post a picture of me walking down the beach. Because I don't look like I did when I was 25 or 30. But women can do that.
Well, because
women have things, even if the rest of their ass is fat.
And we will look at it. But we'll look at it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
We'll look at anything.
And we'll follow it.
So... God.
In hopes just to keep that, just in case anything happens, I need to know that she's following me and I can always ask her to go out in case things don't work out here. My biggest thing is and listen, we know through the TikTok and Instagram and all the things that the younger generation's into, it's all about followers. It's about being influencers. And we've seen millions and millions and millions and millions of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old girls who have millions of followers. Some of it's great. They're doing TikTok hacks, and some are, posting pictures, and some girls are on OnlyFans when they get old enough to do those things. I saw where Charlie Sheen's and Denise Richards' daughter just turned 18. She's on OnlyFans, and he didn't want her to do it, and Denise was like, go for it. She hasn't posted anything nude-wise yet.
She's a different story because she doesn't need to.
Exactly.
I mean,
and Charlie's been there, so he knows how those things go. And so he's like, I really don't feel comfortable.
Oh, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Charlie.
No. You said Charlie. I was thinking Martin.
No, Charlie.
Right, Charlie. Oh, jeez.
So Charlie's been there, done that. So he's kind of like, dude, I wish you wouldn't do it. But now she has his blessing. So you're 18. You're old enough to do it. Just be careful.
That's what I want to take.
Once you post something, it's out there forever.
But they know that. See, this has been around. This has been around. I hope we get into this. The kids who post, so anywhere from 16 to 30. This is not new. Like social media is on. They know exactly what they're doing. They know that they're posting, and I would say the only difference where we know better is our ability to think about the future. Mm-hmm. And their lack of ability to think about the future. By the nature of their age and their developmental stage, that's the piece they cannot fully grasp.
Yeah.
But knowing what they're doing, or knowing that, look, you presented yourself and not it is not a knowledge thing.
Yeah.
So at this age, by the time you are 15, 16 to 20, you know exactly. But why? Because you have all kinds of examples ranging from, what parents would think are appropriate to not. We did a whole thing on parents varying in what they think is appropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, I hope we get into today.
And fully understand it. We're not old school. We're not stodgy. I understand what young girls wear today. I know it's changed a lot since we were in school. I'm totally cool with that. It's a cultural norm now, what girls wear.
But it
and
varies.
I get that. But and I think the motivation that I wanted to do this with Fox 6 this morning, along with yourself on the Kurre and Klapow show and with Janice and Mike, was that be careful what you're posting when you're underage or even overage. But I look at the underage stuff, and I when I see a picture of two young ladies, does not turn me on or anything, and I'm like, because they know that brings followers from your classmates, from other 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old boys. Could you imagine back in high school, there was two girls that I just absolutely had a crazy crush over. Teresa Cunningham was one of them, and I've tried to find her to see what she looks like, from Lakota. And she was kind of a ditzy woman, but she was just, I sat next to her and I just would, oh my gosh, I thought she was that. And a girl named Amy Davenport, who was a real skinny little lassie. She was part of the drum corps stuff, and she was just smoking hot and cute. And could you imagine if I could have seen pictures of them in bikinis when I was in high school? Because there was no way to see a picture of them anything outside doing something from Porky's. You weren't going to see them the way you wanted to see them. It was all here.
That's really interesting. Because
so if I could have said, if someone said, "Hey, Teresa Cunningham just posted pictures of her from her beach vacation," oh my gosh.
No, you'd find, or someone would have taken a picture and someone found it.
Yeah,
someone got it. I had girlfriends in high school who would, and they would not send me, look at how mail them to me or give them to me, pictures of themselves in a bikini.
Really?
Yeah, not tons, but one. Just to have.
Did she like you?
Yeah, these were girlfriends.
Yeah, girlfriend. Okay,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
not new.
Girlfriend. Girlfriends, I get it.
So here's the other one. Let's go here.
But the fact that you could go, if you got a crush on a 16-year-old in your sophomore class, there's a good chance you can go on her TikTok thing and watch her all you want and probably see.
You don't know. Depends
you don't know. You don't.
But there would be the ones. So listen, here's who they would be. Think about when we were in high school. Well, I don't know about you, but me growing up in LA, totally acceptable in public high schools. Tube tops.
Yeah.
Tube tops. You know what tube tops are?
Oh, yeah.
Tube tops is basically terry cloth with a little bit of elastic.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah.
And we had the brand was called Dolphin shorts. They look like running shorts now. Mm-hmm. Every girl.
Yeah.
Every girl. And shorts were up to here. Thing was up to here. And you saw it because they were there, or you saw them in the summer or when we went to the beach. But you could extract those and put those on TikTok. You could put those on social media. And the difference would be, instead of whatever, 60 people or 100 people who saw them at the beach. Now it would be 10,000 people. So then my point is that the outfits aren't that much different. Maybe some of the prom dresses and all that kind of stuff, but this summer is summer. Summer is skin.
I think you can really dictate what people obviously see on your social media, and people always talk about it. It's always the good times. It's the great time. Your life looks so wonderful, and a lot of people do want to create that it's like writing the Christmas letter, right? Of all the great things you did throughout the year, you're not painting the picture of your life sucks and everything else. Although we know that life comes at you, we live on life's terms. And so when you post pictures, sometimes I'll get like a woman who wants me to follow her back, and I'll look at her profile pic and I go, whoa. And the first thing I do is I go to her media. I want to know what kind of pictures she's posting.
Well, yeah.
Is she posting pictures of her naked? Is she posting pictures? Because I'm not going to follow that. I don't want to be associated with that. But a lot of times it's just a bunch of memes, like thousands of memes on their media where there are no pictures of them.
Well, yeah.
And then occasionally I'll see a young lady that will post one picture of her on the beach in a bikini or something that looks nice. It's not nasty or it's not a tea bag or anything like that. But that's the only picture she has on there, and that tells me she's putting a little bit out.
Listen, this is where, as parents or adults, older adults.
By the way, I know a lot of females that would absolutely be mortified if anyone took a picture of them and posted it on social media. I'm 17 years old or 16. I don't want I'm already at the beach. It's already a skin fest down here. The last thing I need is you posting a picture of my behind, on social media.
You meaning Dad?
Anybody. Maybe they're down there. Maybe it's spring break.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's, absolutely. This absolutely is.
You'll always have it.
This is telling of the person.
Yeah.
This is telling of the person. And again, I am a parent of two who are in that age range. Mm-hmm. They are, I know what, well, I don't know completely. I don't want to know. But I don't know. I know when they are partying. I know when they are, or to some degree, when they're out at the beach or whatever. If I go look at their Instagram accounts, that doesn't reflect that. That's intentional on their part. They want it that way. The new
drunk phone. We used to say, don't ever call anyone after midnight.
Right.
Social media is that new thing now. You don't have to do that. You just put it up on social media. And so if you're imbibing and having and listen, I'm not poo-pooing on people. I've been there, done that. But if you're out of your flipping mind and think this would be really funny on TikTok at 3:00 in the morning, don't do it.
No, well, because here's the other piece. I think is really interesting about it. And again, I think that 20-year-olds, for the most part, are aware of this, but they don't think about it as much in the moment. Your potential employer, 3 years down the road, is looking.
Yep.
They are absolutely looking, and they're looking at everything from sort of sexually inappropriate to even political positions, thoughts, and talking about sort of the world.
It is your resume. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. When you get on LinkedIn, this first thing they will look at, they will look at your social media.
Well, and not LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, everyone who's on LinkedIn, they know how to present on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Then you go from LinkedIn, go to Instagram. LinkedIn, go to Facebook. LinkedIn, go to TikTok, and see how much consistency there is.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're like, we have so much to talk about.
I know. We're only going to have 5 minutes to do it on Fox 6 this morning at 9:35. Check us out on the big Fox at Fox 6 with Janice.
We need a show.
Also, finally, he's a 10 trend butt. This is where women are getting on dating sites and seeing a picture of a dude, just his face, and going, he's a 10. He's rocking. But I found out he doesn't floss. Or I found out he drives a car that I don't like. And these are meant to be to be funny to an extent. So some of the top 10s here. He's a 10, but he's a Scorpio. He's a 10, but he's a Marvel fan. He's a 10.
Hey, I'm a Marvel fan.
Yeah, well. He's a 10, but he takes too long to reply. He's a 10 because he's not dressed well. He's a 10 because he doesn't floss. He's a 10. It's a 10 to a 2. He's a 10 if he wears. He's a 10, but he's a 2 if he wears Sperry boat shoes.
Yeah, now at this day and age, yeah.
By the way, did you know short shorts are back for guys? My kids gave me a pair of shorts for Father's Day.
7-inch inseam or shorter?
Dude, I mean, I'm like...
Yeah, I've gone from...
My son was like...
Yeah, my kids won't let me wear... I used to be like a 10-inch inseam.
Yeah.
And both my kids are like, oh my God. Then I went to a 9-inch inseam, and I'm like, this is... Then I went to a 7. So I'm at 7.
Like old NBA pants.
Yeah, there's nothing... But listen, at our age, nothing more than... You can't do 5. My kids do.
I don't even know what the inches are. I just know. See, I got long legs. I mean, they're all going to be a
that's
little
true.
short too.
Yeah,
I like them. The only thing is when I sit down though, they kind of pull up a little bit. So I have to pull them up. And I don't want to be showing my package when I'm sitting there cockeyed. So there's also one for she's a 10. Yes, she's a 10 trend butt. And so I started thinking of some funny things, like she's a 10, but she chews gum. You ever been with a gum chewer?
Yeah, no, I mean, my wife hates when I chew gum.
Yeah.
I don't like a smacker. I don't mind when she chew gum.
She's a 10, but she has a mustache. Have you ever been with a woman and she's sitting in just the right light and you can see she's got a mustache? You can't see it without the light.
Blonde facial hair, yeah.
Yeah, I dated a girl, and I remember I went out with her one night. Yeah. We ended up having a good time, and I took her down to the International House of Pancakes down Southside, and the sun was coming in, and we were both kind of hungover, and man, you could just see
a whole face,
it was like,
yeah,
and didn't
waxing.
see it.
You gotta have waxing.
She's a 10, but she doesn't go to church.
I'm Jewish. I don't care.
She's a 10, but she drives a Lexus. Really, Lexus drivers.
Is that yours? That's yours.
These are all mine. These are all
mine. Okay, well, that makes sense with the church thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd go out with somebody you'd think you'd go to church.
I would, but I mean...
Church versus Lexus, go. Which one is more on the
First of all, Lexus drivers are all like in their 60s. If you see a young girl driving a Lexus, she's driving her grandpa's Lexus.
Well, it's good, low mileage.
Yeah. And I guess people know my Lexus situation.
Yeah, I know. I thought you got over that.
No, I get behind the big L almost every traffic light I go, and Lexus drivers are dumbasses on the road. They don't know how to drive. And it's because they're usually older people who have a lot of money. They don't know what to do with it. Why don't you buy a Lexus? And so they buy a Lexus, and they're just surveying the land. It's the old George Carlin thing. They're just driving down the road at 35 miles an hour looking at animals, and they're pointing out every sign and reading every sign that goes. My mom used to read every sign. Oh, there's...
I thought that's drivers here in Birmingham in
barbecue, and oh, look at that. There's a 7-Eleven. Oh, look at that. There's a marathon station. I'm like, Mom, we see these things. You don't need to read them to us while we're driving down the street. I spy with my little eye. So I want you to throw in some of here, too.
It's 10, but she doesn't brush her teeth first thing in the morning.
Oh, there you go.
Get her out of bed. Like, you got to, that should be.
How about she's a 10, but she contradicts every single thing I say? You ever been with someone going, man, it's been hot? And the first thing she says is,
not really.
Not really. Or, I need to cut my grass a little.
No,
I need to cut my grass a little shorter. My neighbor keeps it nice and long. They're not trying to contradict on purpose.
Yes.
But it's like they have something to say that one-ups you in everything they possibly say. It's kind of like, oh, that's a beautiful butterfly. You should have seen the one I saw in my yard yesterday. I'm like, dude, I'm just pointing out a butterfly in my backyard, yet you're upping me by telling me you saw a better butterfly. And it is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, can you...
I grew the most beautiful dahlia. Yeah, well, you should see my name dropper.
Name dropper
for two. Yeah. I don't want to hear about all the important people you know.
She's a 10, but she watches reality TV. Let me tell you something, man. If there's a lot of women that
Shark Academy. It's a new show. I mean, it's my new favorite.
Shark Academy. So a Shark Tank thing?
No, it's a dude who's a PhD shark guy, and it's a contest where he is going to let people who haven't necessarily studied in graduate school become shark researchers, and he puts them through it's. But he drops them in with sharks, make sure they're in panic all the time.
She's a 10, but she does post a lot. Depends on what she's posting, I guess.
Farts loudly and smiles about it.
You got women that done that?
Who think it's funny.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's funny. Or burp.
I remember there was one girl on the radio that used to do that a lot.
That's not funny.
a woman who feels like she's going to tell me what political affiliation she's with without even asking, and that just kind of goes.
Well,
with
that's
anybody.
anybody.
Right now. It's kind of like, dude, within the first 5 minutes, you're
shut up.
Let's not
shut
talk
up.
about the
I don't
news.
care.
I do
Stop
not want to hear about that.
Yeah. Oh, so that you can do the church.
Yeah.
I'll flip it. Yeah. So for me, 10 to a 2 is tells me immediately what church he goes to. Yeah. Okay. Woo. Jewish.
Yeah.
I don't tell you what temple I go to. So don't
women
go there.
that own more than one pet.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Oh, man.
6 cats is no. But if you own more, what if you have 2 dogs?
My director,
2 dogs.
My director of programming's got a woman who's just a sweetheart. She's got 3 cats, and the first time I was like,
3 is okay. Anything more.
But she's super fun. She's super cool. She's awesome. Yeah, but when a woman's got. Well, I went on a date a couple months ago with a woman who had a cat, and she talked about her cat a lot. That's a different thing. Yeah.
You can have 3 or 4 cats if you're talking about your cats. If your cat is your screensaver and your key fob, and that's the conversation, then that's 10 to a 2.
If you're going out with somebody that every time they see a stray, they take it, look out.
Yeah.
Now,
if they do animal rescue and they're part of a rescue organization, I'm all about that. No, I am.
Next thing you know, you got 12 or 13 dogs.
No.
Because you'll never have less than 12 or 13 dogs.
No. I'm saying if they're part of a true organization, not the save the dog and take care of it and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about organization and they're affiliated with it and they do foster. I'm okay with that, but there's some qualifiers. I mean, like, you can't just do that.
What about tattoos? You okay with tattoos?
Yeah.
What about rings? Nose rings, earrings? I'm not, like,
I'm
regular
okay.
earrings are good. I don't know about the nose ring thing.
I'm not. I
haven't seen a woman hot enough to pull off a nose ring
not
yet.
a nose ring. Now,
the
listen,
one in the corner?
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that a little bit?
Yeah.
Not sure how you blow your nose, but don't worry about that.
It goes beep.
Nipple rings? I'm okay with nipple rings.
No.
I don't have a problem with that.
Nipple rings would take me down nothing wrong with it, but we're not compatible. Like, not compatible, like, just we're living in a very different. I'm okay with nose studs.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with belly button something.
You should get an earring.
What?
You should get an earring. You're at the point where you get
I've
an earring.
had 2.
Well, you should.
The holes are still open.
When was the last time you had an earring?
When I was
You'd be pretty hip as a
20 something. I mean, the holes are still
you
there.
had an earring.
No, you don't. Are earrings coming back?
You had an upside down pineapple with some pomegranate.
And I put a flamingo in my front yard.
And I put a rainbow hat on.
You know what's so funny about that? I could put a flamingo in our front yard, and then I could put an upside down pineapple and the grass. And Jules would complain about the flamingo. Right, because that would be kind of weird.
I used to have flamingos.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So she says about the flamingo. She wouldn't know what the upside down pineapple. Hell, we didn't know. But I could have that upside down pineapple. I could have the grass. I'm like, I want to put this.
Grass will look good in your yard.
Yeah, it would look good red thing. And then I would just have a small flamingo, and she would never know the difference. And like the people would be coming up. Can you see that?
That would be awesome.
Can you see that? She'd be like, "What are you doing?"
I could not see your wife swinging.
No. But you don't. There's a side of Jules.
I'm sure there is.
There's a side, but you will never see it on Instagram. You will never see it. You don't even have an Instagram. You will never see it on Facebook.
All right, in 10 minutes, we're going to be on Fox 6. Looking forward to talking to our good friends Janice Rogers, Mike Doubley, and maybe Mickey Ferguson, Toy, all those guys. We do a segment. We do a segment every Thursday morning on Fox 6. It's fantastic. We're talking about what you should and should not post. Al Cooper, good morning to you, brother. We should or should not post on your vacation pics. We'll get into that coming up in just a few minutes here at 9:35 on the big Fox 6 on terrestrial television. Make sure you download the Tony Curry Radio app. It's fantastic. And, of course, go to Spotify and search Tony Curry Radio, and you can listen to the Kurre and Klapow show. We did 2 shows today. You can listen to Blues Almighty, which is going off later today at noon and 8. We have 2 new shows with Kip Keeper called One's Need to Know and his Want a Bet show coming up in August. We got that going on. When in Rome with Stuart Rose coming up.
You know
Dark Side of the Pooch.
Wait, you know what you don't say?
Minded. Oh, you man, last night we did AC/DC's Back in Black Album.
But you know what you haven't said one time? This is tired.
Adapter Parish. I did mention Adapter Parish the first time.
No,
the first time. Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Dude, you're here.
No.
Adapter Parish, Dr. Alex Hublin, Dr. Josh Klapow, fresh new show going off next Tuesday. And again, if you want to listen to this past Tuesday show, go to Spotify and search it up. We got to go, and thanks for watching. See you.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.